Good morning, friend, or good evening. Whenever you're tuning in, I want you to know you're in the right place, because today's video, it isn't just about food. It's about freedom. Freedom from the fatigue that creeps in before noon. Freedom from the confusion about what's healthy and what's actually hurting you. And freedom from morning meals that feel familiar, but are secretly working against your body. Let me ask you this. Have you ever sat down with a plate of eggs, thinking you're starting the day right, only to feel bloated, foggy, or tired just an hour later? You're not alone. It happens to more people than you think. Not because eggs are bad, far from it, but because the wrong pairings can turn your healthiest meal into a hidden threat. You see, once you cross 60, your body plays by different rules. Digestion slows down. Nutrient absorption becomes harder. And what used to be fine may no longer be friendly. And that's why I made this video. Because just 3 everyday food combinations could be stealing your energy, damaging your gut, and blocking the very nutrients your body is craving. But here's the good news. You don't need a new diet. You just need a few simple upgrades. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which foods to avoid with eggs, and which to embrace if you want to turn breakfast into your greatest health ally. No gimmicks, no overwhelm, just honest clarity. And real solutions you can start using tomorrow morning. Let's begin. The white bread trap. Let's travel back to a memory that might feel familiar. You wake up early. The light is soft. You shuffle into the kitchen and do what you've done for years. Crack a few eggs, toast a couple slices of bread, maybe pour a little coffee. It's a habit, a rhythm. A morning ritual that feels safe and known. But here's a truth that might shake that comfort a bit. Sometimes, the things we repeat out of habit are the very things holding us back from better health. That humble plate, eggs and white toast, seems harmless. But beneath the simplicity lies a dangerous nutritional mismatch. You see, white bread, as soft and warm as it feels, is made from refined flour, stripped of its fiber, stripped of its minerals, and processed to digest almost instantly. What does that mean for your body? It means the moment you take a bite, your blood sugar skyrockets. Now, your body is smart. It doesn't sit back. It responds fast. It sends in insulin, the hormone that helps control sugar. But this flood of insulin doesn't just bring sugar levels down. It brings you down too. You feel sluggish, your mind slows, your mood dips. And as the years pass, this cycle weakens your metabolic system day after day. Over time, this becomes more than just a morning crash. It becomes a pattern your body can't escape. That roller coaster of sugar and insulin leads to insulin resistance, a condition tied to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and yes, even memory decline. And the worst part? It all begins with something you thought was good for you. As someone who has worked with older adults for decades, I can tell you this isn't rare. It's common. Far too common. Seniors often tell me, "I eat clean, doc. Eggs, toast, nothing crazy." But what they don't realize is that white bread isn't food. It's filler. It fills the plate, but drains the body. It satisfies the tongue, but robs the cells. But here's what I want you to know. This isn't your fault. We weren't taught to think about combinations. We were told to look at calories, not chemistry. And that's where the real damage is done. So how do we fix it? Not by giving up eggs. Eggs are fantastic. They're packed with protein, choline, vitamin D, and compounds that protect your brain and muscles. The secret is in the upgrade. Instead of reaching for white toast, reach for whole grain or sprouted bread. These breads are built differently. They're rich in fiber, complex carbs, and minerals that slow down digestion, keep your blood sugar balanced, and help you feel fuller longer, without the crash. Want to take it a step further? Try roasted sweet potatoes. They're sweet, satisfying, and loaded with beta-carotene, a powerful antioxidant that supports vision and immune health. Add a side of wilted spinach in olive oil, and you've now created a breakfast that not only fuels your morning, it fights inflammation, supports cognition, and protects your heart. And all it took was one choice. One shift. Let me say this clearly. Your plate can be your medicine, or it can be your mistake. And when you understand the difference, your entire day begins to change. So tomorrow morning, when your hand reaches for that white slice out of habit, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping my body or making it work harder? Because the real trap isn't just in the toast, it's in the routine we stop questioning. And if this one surprised you, just wait. The next food combination we're about to uncover is something most people believe is extra healthy. But for older adults especially, it may be one of the worst mistakes for muscle loss, fatigue, and poor digestion. Let's keep going. Your body deserves the truth. The protein collision. Eggs and soy. Picture this. You're trying to eat healthier. You've swapped out bacon for tofu. You've added a glass of soy milk to your breakfast routine. Maybe even scrambled your eggs with a little soy-based protein to boost your intake. It all seems like a smart move. High in protein, low in fat. But here's what nobody tells you. Sometimes two healthy foods can work against each other, silently, powerfully, and without warning. Eggs and soy. On their own, fantastic, but together? They create a metabolic mismatch that can quietly chip away at your strength, energy, and nutrient absorption. Let me explain why. Soy, while rich in plant-based protein, contains something called trypsin inhibitors. These compounds interfere with your body's ability to break down and absorb protein efficiently. That's a problem, especially after 60, when your muscle mass naturally declines and your need for protein becomes more important, not less. Now add eggs to the picture. Specifically, egg whites, which contain avidin, a protein that binds tightly to biotin, a key vitamin responsible for energy production, nervous system function, and healthy skin and hair. When you mix soy and eggs together, your body enters a kind of internal tug-of-war. Protein becomes harder to process. Biotin becomes harder to absorb. And you're left eating a meal that looks nourishing, but leaves your body undernourished where it counts. And here's where it becomes even more dangerous. The signs of this breakdown aren't always dramatic. They're subtle. You start feeling a little more tired, your hair becomes thinner, your nails crack more easily, maybe your mood shifts or your digestion feels off. Most people blame it on aging, but in reality, it might just be breakfast. As a physician, I've learned that nutrition isn't just about choosing healthy foods. It's about understanding how those foods interact inside your body. Especially after 60, what your body can absorb becomes more important than what you consume. And if your food combinations are sabotaging that absorption, you're doing all the right things and still falling behind. But you're not stuck with this. The fix is simple and delicious. Instead of soy, Nourish your eggs with nutrient boosters that complement their benefits. Try lightly sautéed mushrooms, loaded with selenium and B vitamins that support immunity and brain health. Add a side of spinach, rich in folate and iron, both essential for energy and oxygen flow. Or go with creamy avocado, packed with heart-healthy fats that enhance the absorption of key fat-soluble vitamins in eggs, like vitamin D and choline. These pairings don't just avoid conflict, they create synergy. They work with your body to unlock the full spectrum of nutrients in your meal. They help you rebuild what age tries to wear down: muscles, energy, mental clarity, and cellular repair. Remember this: just because something is labeled healthy doesn't mean it's healthy for you in every combination. Especially in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, your nutrition has to be smarter, not just cleaner. So before you stir that soy into your morning scramble, take a moment. Ask yourself, is this nourishing me, or is it just familiar? Because the choices we make at the table echo through our energy, our strength, and our independence. And now, if that combination surprised you, brace yourself. Because the next pairing we're about to explore isn't a food at all. It's a beverage, one that seems warm, gentle, and wholesome, yet it may be quietly stripping away the very nutrients your body is trying to hold on to. Let's dive in. The tea mistake. When healthy drinks hurt. There's something sacred about the quiet moments in the morning. Before the world gets loud, before the phone rings, before the news begins, it's just you, a warm plate of eggs, and a steaming cup of tea cradled in your hands. It feels peaceful, intentional, comforting. But what if I told you that this moment of peace might be quietly stealing something from your body? It doesn't seem possible, does it? Tea is gentle, natural, full of antioxidants, but even the gentlest habits, when mistimed, can become silent saboteurs. Here's what many people don't realize, especially those in their 60s and beyond. Tea, particularly black and green varieties, contains tannins. These plant-based compounds are often celebrated for their health benefits. But when you drink tea with a meal rich in protein and iron, like eggs, you create a chemical clash that blocks your body's ability to absorb key nutrients. Tannins bind to protein molecules and iron ions in your food, forming complexes that are too large for your intestines to absorb. In other words, your body gets the food, but misses the fuel. And it shows up in small, unsettling ways. You feel tired even after a hearty breakfast. Your mind feels cloudy when it should feel sharp. You sense something isn't quite right, even though you're eating healthy. As a doctor, I've had these conversations more times than I can count. And the culprit, often, is sitting quietly in that teacup. Now, let me be clear. Tea is not the enemy. What matters here is timing. If you enjoy tea, and I hope you do, there's no need to give it up. But you need to separate it from your meal. Just 30 to 60 minutes before or after eating makes a world of difference. It gives your body the space it needs to extract and absorb the nutrients from your eggs, like iron, choline, and vitamin B12. Nutrients that are absolutely critical for seniors when it comes to energy, memory, and immune strength. And if you want something better to pair with your breakfast, here's the upgrade your body will thank you for: a small glass of orange juice. Unlike tea, orange juice is rich in vitamin C, which actually enhances your body's ability to absorb iron, especially the type found in eggs and leafy greens. It turns your breakfast into a more complete, functional meal. One that doesn't just fill you, but fortifies you. And if warm comfort is what you're after, try replacing your morning brew with herbal teas like chamomile, peppermint, or lemon balm. These contain no tannins, they soothe the stomach, they aid digestion, and they allow your body to unlock more of the goodness from your food, without interference. You see, the body is subtle in its wisdom. It doesn't scream, it whispers. And if you've been feeling a little more tired, a little less clear, a little out of balance, it might be time to listen to the whispers. Because sometimes, what we've always done isn't what we still need. So tomorrow morning, when the light pours in and you reach for your cup, just pause. Think about the meal you've prepared. Think about the nutrients it holds. And ask yourself, is this cup helping my body or hiding its healing? That small question may be the beginning of a powerful shift. And now that you know what not to sip with your eggs, it's time to explore the flip side. The foods that supercharge your eggs, that elevate your energy, support your brain, and fuel you well into the day. Let's turn that breakfast plate into your most powerful daily medicine, the power pairs that upgrade your eggs. Let's take a moment to shift how we think about breakfast, not as a rushed ritual or something to simply get through, but as an act of care, a message you send to your body before the rest of the world begins to ask for your time, your attention, your energy. When you begin your day with eggs, you're already on the right path. Eggs offer complete protein, brain-supporting nutrients, and the kind of slow, satisfying fullness that many so-called superfoods can't match. But what if the real magic isn't in the egg alone, but in what you pair it with? Because when you combine eggs with the right ingredients, foods that don't just sit beside them, but collaborate with them inside your body, you don't just nourish yourself, you activate something deeper. You create meals that function as medicine. And they don't come from a bottle. They come from your kitchen. Let's explore 3 powerful pairings that turn a simple egg into a full-body upgrade, supporting your vision, bones, digestion, brain, and energy in ways most people never even imagine. Eggs plus pumpkin. A breakfast that sharpens your sight and grounds your gut. Pumpkin may not be the first food that comes to mind when you think of breakfast, but once you understand its power, especially in combination with eggs, you might find yourself reaching for it more often. Pumpkin is incredibly rich in beta-carotene, a compound your body transforms into vitamin A, which is absolutely essential for maintaining eye health and protecting your vision from age-related damage. Now, when you combine that with the lutein and zeaxanthin found in eggs, 2 antioxidants known to shield the eyes from harmful light and oxidative stress, you create a synergy that doesn't just support your eyes, but helps preserve how you experience the world. But that's not all. Pumpkin also provides slow-digesting, complex carbohydrates and gut-nourishing fiber that help regulate blood sugar and maintain steady energy throughout the day. When you enjoy pumpkin with eggs, you create a perfect balance of protein and slow fuel, something that both your digestive system and your energy levels will appreciate, especially if you often experience that mid-morning crash. Whether you blend them into a savory soup, roast pumpkin cubes to serve with scrambled eggs, or stir both into a frittata, this pairing is a game changer, not just for your eyes, but for your whole body. Eggs plus cheese. A savory combination that builds bones and sharpens memory. Eggs and cheese might feel like a classic combo, but when you take a closer look at what's happening nutritionally, it becomes clear this pairing is far more than comforting. It's a powerful tool for longevity. Eggs provide vitamin D, which acts like a key, unlocking your body's ability to absorb calcium. And cheese, especially aged varieties like cheddar or Parmesan, delivers that calcium in abundance. Together, they help strengthen bones, protect against osteoporosis, and maintain structural stability in a time of life when even a small fall can lead to serious setbacks. In addition, eggs are one of the best sources of choline, a nutrient that supports brain function, memory retention, and cognitive resilience. Meanwhile, certain cheeses contain natural probiotics, beneficial bacteria that improve gut health and enhance the body's ability to absorb nutrients from all the foods you eat. So when you cook up a cheesy scramble or bake a veggie-packed mini quiche, you're not just feeding your appetite, you're fortifying your bones, supporting your memory, and nourishing your gut all at once. Eggs plus apples. A crisp, gentle pairing that boosts digestion and iron absorption. This one might surprise you. Eggs and apples don't seem like an obvious match. But the truth is, they form one of the most gut-friendly and iron-boosting pairings you can put on your plate. Apples contain a unique form of soluble fiber called pectin, which supports digestion by regulating how your body processes fats and proteins. It slows things down just enough so that your digestive system can fully break down and absorb the nutrients in your eggs, especially the iron, which is critical for oxygen flow, brain clarity, and overall energy. Even more fascinating? Apples are a rich source of vitamin C, and this vitamin plays a direct role in enhancing the body's ability to absorb non-heme iron, like the kind found in eggs. That means eating apples with eggs doesn't just help your gut. It helps your blood carry more oxygen, supports immune function, and keeps your energy stable throughout the day. You can enjoy this combo in simple ways: a hard-boiled egg alongside sliced apple, or a crisp salad with chopped apples, crumbled boiled egg, and a handful of walnuts dressed in olive oil and lemon. It's easy, elegant, and deeply effective. Here's the part that matters most. These pairings are not trends. They're not fads or hacks or internet gimmicks. They're deeply nourishing. The cooking truth. No one told you. You've chosen your ingredients wisely. You've learned what to pair, what to avoid. You've started building a plate with care, with purpose. But now comes the part most people rush through, the part we've all been taught to treat as second nature: cooking. It feels like the easy part. You crack the eggs, you flip them in a hot pan, maybe even brown the edges until they're crispy. But let me share something that might change the way you cook forever. You could be destroying the nutrients in your eggs before your fork ever touches the plate. Because inside every egg are fragile nutrients, like lutein, which guards your vision from the inside out, and choline, which fuels your memory, helps build cell walls, and keeps your brain alert. These are the nutrients that protect you as you age. But here's the truth. These compounds are incredibly sensitive to heat. And when you blast your eggs on high, when you fry them until they bubble or scramble them fast on a hot pan, you're not just changing texture. You're breaking apart the very benefits your body so deeply needs. I've watched this happen quietly in so many lives. People who eat eggs every morning, who think they're doing everything right, yet they still feel foggy, drained, or slow to recover. They blame age, but the real culprit might just be the temperature on their stovetop. So what's the better way? Let's go back to gentle. Soft-boiled eggs, where the yolk stays creamy, protect the heat-sensitive compounds while giving you all the richness without damage. Poached eggs, cooked in simmering water, eliminate the need for any oil at all and preserve the egg's natural structure and integrity. If you love a scramble, as many do, you don't have to give it up, but cook it low and slow. Stir gently. Add a splash of water or olive oil. Let the eggs move slowly in the pan, and you'll end up with something creamy, flavorful, and far more healing than anything cooked in a rush. And don't forget what you cook in. Skip the margarine. Pass on the processed butter. Instead, reach for extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil, fats that are not only safe at higher temperatures, but actively contribute to heart health and reduce inflammation. When you learn to treat your eggs gently, you're not just changing a cooking method. You're making a promise to your future self that your mind, your muscles, your mood will be supported by something as simple as heat, used with care. Small plate, big impact. And now, as we close, I want you to pause with me for just a moment. Not to look at your plate, but to think about what it represents. Because every morning when you prepare your first meal, you're making more than just breakfast. You're making a decision. A choice that echoes beyond the kitchen. The smallest habits, what you pair, what you sip, how you cook, may seem minor. But over time, they shape your energy, your clarity, your strength, your peace. They build your resilience. They restore what life and time slowly chip away. They are the foundation of a stronger tomorrow. So don't underestimate the impact of that single egg, that handful of spinach, that one switch from tea to juice, from high heat to low. Because healing doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like a soft-boiled egg. Sometimes it sounds like a pan sizzling gently instead of spitting loudly. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me below. What pairing surprised you the most? What small change are you excited to try tomorrow morning? And if this video gave you insight, if something clicked, something connected, hit that like button. Share this with someone you love. Because food is powerful, but shared knowledge is even stronger. And if you're new here, subscribe. Join a growing community of people who aren't just surviving their later years. They're learning how to thrive with wisdom, clarity, and choice. You don't need a massive overhaul. You just need a plate with purpose. Because when you begin with intention, every small plate can create a life of big impact. And that is where the transformation truly begins.